Morning, y'all. How's it going? I'm here to talk about a bit of a lighter-hearted subject this morning, since, well, I feel like I've been kind of doom and gloom recently. I don't know. It's a topic to get you all thinking about some things. So I was thinking about this for the past couple days, but looking back 20 years ago, Apple was selling an iBook G3 or G4 clamshell laptop. And that thing would come with a PowerPC G3 processor, 256 megabytes of RAM and a 4 gigabyte hard drive. Looking at those specs now, that's nothing. That's like 2 megabytes. It doesn't hold anything. 4 gigabytes, like 20 years ago, 4 gigabytes was like a ton of storage. Like, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this, but there's this law in computing called Moore's Law of Computing, or Moore's Law of Processing, whatever it is. But basically it says that with every 2 or 3 years, or every 2 processor generations, processing power doubles what it was the previous generation or whatever. So this stuff is constantly increasing, constantly incrementing, and getting bigger. And obviously, we've had to compensate with that with bigger storage, bigger RAM sizes, and that sort of thing. And that's just how things progress. Things get bigger and that sort of thing. But I think it's gotten to a point where it's starting to outpace the average individual. And you might be like, what are you talking about? I'll take a classic example here. Well, no, never mind. I'll just tell you what's going on with me. I'm currently in a storage crisis. I have nowhere to put my stuff. I have too many photos, too many videos, too many files that I want to save. I have too much shit. And I don't have enough storage drives to put it in. Because, well, for one, I've stopped relying on cloud services such as Dropbox, Google Drive, and all of those other file share programs and whatnot, just simply because I want to be able to access my data whenever I want, wherever I want, whenever I want, and at whatever speed it is that I want it to be. I don't want to be limited by some bullshit subscription service tier that throttles the bandwidth so that they can get you to pay more money for their stupid scam anyways. No, I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to sign my soul away to a corporation that, at the end of the day, if they lose your data, they can totally just be like, oh, fuck you, pal. It's not our problem. That's what you get for trusting us. And as a Gen Zer, my entire life is digital. Everything about me is digital. My tax documents, my photos, my videos, my maps, my school documents, everything from my life is digital. And I'm not going to put my entire livelihood in the hands of a few corporations that hold the network, that hold the network storage infrastructure. So I was like, no, I'm gonna take everything down and self-host it myself. Problem is, I didn't realize how much data I had, and let's just say I don't have enough means of physical storage to put it in. Which is why I've begun starting to invest and investigate a home network server solution. So basically cloud storage at home. I'm planning on getting a few different, either a server rack or a few different older Mac Pros, putting a bunch of large capacity hard drives in there, and then putting all my digital shit in there. Problem is, I can't afford anything right now because, well, it's those of you who may be watching this outside the U.S., we're not really doing too good right now. We're kind of working paycheck to paycheck, and it's been that way for a while, but we're not going to get into that. I currently don't have the finances to move all this stuff, and it's made me reflect on what I can do to reduce my digital footprint in terms of how much data I take up, and it's made me switch back to an older device. For pictures, I carry around an old Canon point-and-shoot camera because, quite frankly, I like it. It's vintage, and just the photos look more real compared to a newer camera. And not to mention they take up half the size, because cameras from 2003, but either way.
The next voting train is now approaching. Please stand back from the platform.
Either way, MKBHD was doing a comparison of like modern day smartphones. Like he was comparing the iPhone 17 Pro and the iPhone 11, and the cameras look pretty much identical. When you look at a modern day smartphone picture, it looks so fake because of how much image signal processing is being done in the background during and after the picture has been taken. And I looked at it and I really noticed it for the first time ever. Like I recently upgraded from an iPhone 11 to an iPhone 17, and I noticed it. I mean, personally, I would have rather gone with the iPhone 11 because it was honest. The pictures and videos it takes are good. Like I have no problem with it. But anyways, to wrap this up, switch back to older devices, and I'm self-hosting things. If you want me to make videos about how to self-host your own tech, let me know. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.